What? We can't, come on.
He's got a gun.
He's got a gun,
Papa,
dude.
he's got a gun. Back up! Do not approach me!
Welcome to First Person Defender, where regular people come face to face with unknown attackers.
Whoa, 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 whoa! Drop the gun, sir! Drop the gun! Drop it! Drop the gun! Come after me! Drop the gun!
And fight their way out. This is First Person Defender.
It happens all the time. Multiple guys follow you out to your car from a bar in the parking lot. What do you do? All that right now on First Person Defender.
These force-on-force scenarios use training guns that fire non-lethal projectiles.
I carry a gun all the time. I owe it to myself, I owe it to my family, the people I love, to not only get the training, but put myself in a position where I can be a protector and a defender.
Well, we've done several episodes with HK now, and Bill has watched them all. But he's going to get to participate, and I think he's a little too excited.
Yeah, I've been here for the filming of several episodes, gotten to be a role player, got to be a bad guy. This is my first time in the hot seat. I'm pretty excited about it. I'm a little bit nervous because when your friends are involved in the planning and the plotting, you get that little extra bit of creativity, and I'm sure it'll be a little amped up challenge over what we've seen previously this week.
Bill carries a gun all the time, he trains all the time, and he does both of those things for the right reasons. Well, luckily, we've got his HK trainer, Adam Winch, here, and Adam has a special scenario for him, and you know we're not going to make it easy. All right, Adam, you saw Bill's interview. He's a little too excited. What are we going to do to him?
This is going to be a fun one. This is going to be a pretty dynamic scenario. We're going to start out in a bar, and somebody in the bar is going to start just mouthing off to him and really trying to cause a fight. Because the guy is trying to start a fight, if Bill's smart, and he is, he'll probably leave, exiting the bar itself. At that point, our mouthy guy and his buddies now are gonna follow him outside and try to instigate another fight. He's gonna know what to do with this, but confronted by four, I think it's gonna cause some confusion in him, which is a good thing for such a smart guy, to see how he does. And he can either go to pepper sprays, he could go to gun, or he could just beat feet. And I'm really curious what he's gonna do.
As am I. Let's see what happens.
Bill is on vacation away from his home in the city. He stops to have a drink at a bar for locals. One of the men takes a liking to Bill. When Bill becomes uneasy with the situation, the room turns on him. Will Bill escape unscathed?
Hi, gentlemen, what can I get you?
Another one of these waters, man.
Oh, was that? I caught both.
Go ahead, man.
Of him? What'd you say you wanted?
This iced tea be just fine.
All right, well, there's a whole jug.
You ain't
for
from around here, are you,
That'll
Mr.
do.
Fancy Pants?
What's that?
I said you ain't from around here, are you?
No. Surely you like it here, though.
Boy, you got a purty mouth.
That's enough.
What are you pushing on me for, man? Why?
Back up!
I ain't doing nothing, do you?
Do not approach me,
man.
Mike, Mike, knock it down. Back up! Whoa, whoa. What do you do to you, man?
You maced me, man.
Call
I can't breathe.
Call police.
Here, sit down.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
Get.
Get out of here.
Go away.
Get out.
Get.
Jeez, pepper spray our guy?
Man.
Jeez.
Get.
What? We can't, come on.
He's got a gun.
He's got a gun,
Papa,
dude.
he's got a gun. Back up. Do not approach me. Oh, stop. Papa, get him. Papa, he shot JJ. Stay down! Do not move!
You okay?
Nobody move!
No, I'm dying.
Call 911! Call the police!
Let go of that gun, Papa.
Index, index, index.
All right, man, tell me what happened.
I felt real alone, man. I had no friends in that whole room. Well, just immediately, right when we started, this guy is making me very uncomfortable, right? Just approaching me, and I need to get, he was already in my space, so I felt like I needed to push him off of me. And then from there on, the whole room turned on me, and it just got worse and worse. I tried to use my, the bar as kind of a physical barrier between me and him.
What did you do next? You got by the bar and something happened over there.
Well, this guy was gonna come behind the bar, and he was gonna, so now he's gonna pin me behind the bar becomes a bad place, right? If he's gonna come in there with me. So I pepper sprayed him. I do carry pepper spray with me all the time along with a
We had a feeling you sprayed our boy. We were like, what's up, Big Mike? What'd he do to you?
Yeah, and then I quite honestly, I didn't know what to do next, but then the various bad guys in the room invited me to leave, and that sounded like a pretty good idea at that point.
Let's get in, Adam, and see what he saw, because he was following this whole thing closely.
So of the things that I saw, I was being the bartender. You very commandingly shoved me to the side and told me to get away. As the crowd began to aggress, you decided it was time to leave, which was the right decision. Once we got outside, you took a different path than actually was anticipated, and you took the most direct path away from them, which I thought was fantastic. You got to the gun, and as you saw a gun come out, I watched you begin to pull. You had great movement to cover. Ultimately, you did engage the guy, and I tell you, the one fail point I saw in here is a little bit of judicious marksmanship. You nailed our shooter, got him 2 or 3 times, and then ultimately got a guy who was aggressive but not a lethal threat. From there, you kept moving to better points of cover. Then you started issuing great verbal commands. You even hit your alarm for the car, so you knew where it was and started alerting more people. You held on them, gave fantastic, very loud commanding verbal commands, and from that point we indexed. So of all the things that I saw a lot of good. The only failure point I would say, a little more judicious marksmanship,
more practice on the range,
and a little less spray and pray.
The only thing that I would add to that is I probably wouldn't let anybody I know I had a gun until I had a gun in my hand.
Right.
I would not let them see it or let them even know I was going for it. I might use my offhand to get it out of my pants, get it in my hands, and just keep walking and say, if these guys come up behind me, I'm gonna freaking threaten the hell out of them with this gun and tell them to back off.
I think we're set up well for some good training.
The HK VP9 is a full-size, modern, polymer, striker-fired gun. Holds 17 rounds of 9mm, it's optics ready, and of course, HK quality. One of the things that you get with a VP9 HK is a polygonal barrel. And what does that matter to you? Well, polygonal, different way of doing the grooves inside, the lands and grooves, it's different. Well, it's gonna actually seal behind the bullet better, sealing the gases in, giving you a little bit more velocity. It's also very durable. So lots of time on the range. This baby's gonna last a lifetime of shooting. The HK VP9.
Bill, as an H&K guy myself, I can't tell you how proud I was to see all the good things you did in here. So let's talk about 2 different options, okay? When you came out, you took this pathway here, which doesn't give you several things. The things we're always looking for is, and I call them our 4 friends, time, distance, barriers, and an exit. You were taking distance, which oftentimes time and distance equivalent each other, right? They're the same. But there's no barriers. That means you're not putting barriers between you and the bad guy. So let's keep that in mind for the next portion of this. So you're getting time and distance. So as you went, you turned over and you exposed the gun, if you can see it. Then as you turned back, the shirt got caught up, and you gave your back to him for a second before you turned whichever way you went next, okay? So the teachable moment here is that instead of turning this way, you can be more covert and more stealthy with your draw of now instead going to the gun, keeping your eye over your non-dominant side, keeping your dominant side hidden from them. You could even pull the gun until it's time to then maybe turn, and if you have to, drive out and make shots on your bad guy from here. Does that make sense? So let's do the same type of thing going forward. Okay. Go ahead, on you. Excellent, excellent. So that was great marksmanship. You even kept moving backwards, trying to get away as you engaged. You hit with great accuracy. That was an excellent way to do it. And they didn't know you had a gun because you had it hidden until this moment right there. So that was fantastic. Okay. Again, our rules are looking for time, distance, barriers, and exit. And the sooner you do those things, the better. So in this case, you've exited here. They've followed you out. Maybe the best path for time, distance, barriers, and an exit is instead of going this long way where it's open, is instead threading the needle of these cars quickly, right? So maybe I get on my gun and I watch over my shoulders. I'm quickly moving between the cars. Get back, get back, get back. And now, because this is a lower type of cover and this is a bigger piece of cover, maybe I just on the fly choose this, coming back here. Get back, get back, get back, get back, get back, get back, get back. So now we have this concealment here to help shield you from anything bad they could do. All right, Bill, on you.
Get back! Get back! Back up! Back up!
So, Bill, and notice in both of these scenarios, a surreptitious draw was an important component. And I think that's a thing that we need to see more often in training.
Sure.
So it's not always just flat range, pull fast. Sometimes that smooth, easy, covert draw is a really good idea.
I never practiced that. I'm going to now.
Good.
If you want to survive a scenario like you see on First Person Defender, you need training. And we actually put on First Person Defender classes. It's a whole experience where you get to run through lots of scenarios like this to see what you would really do and get some good training to be better prepared. Go to rangereadystudios.com to sign up today.
There's a time and a place for everything. Generally, I shoot a lot better when I'm stationary, but there are times when I have to move and shoot on the move. Well, there's a couple of key points to shooting on the move, and I'm just talking about forward and rearward right now. Number one, point your toes in the direction you want to go. So if I'm going to move forward or rearward, my feet are going to be pointing forward so that I can move rearward or forward. The reason I do that is if I open them up the way I would normally stand with my toes out, every time I walk, my hips are open and I'm gonna waddle back and forth, which is contradictory to what I'm trying to do. Ultimately, I am trying to keep all the movement from my waist down. Everything from my waist up is stable. Kind of like you got a really full cup of hot coffee and I'm trying not to spill it. Because if I spill it on my wife's white carpets, she's gonna kill me. So if I'm shooting and I'm not carrying a cup of coffee, how do I know I'm not spilling the coffee? Well, when I'm looking through the sights and I've got a sight picture down there and the sights are in the center of that bottle or that square or that high center chest area, if the sights are moving outside of that area, which is a pretty generous area, well then I know I need to do something to stabilize. Maybe flex my knees a little bit more, maybe be a little more light when my toes or my heels land. So I'll show you what it looks like, live fire. I'm gonna move to the rear and then I'm gonna move forward. I'm just gonna fire a few shots because I want good shots. I'm not just gonna shoot because I'm moving. So as I start moving, toe heel, toe heel, toe heel. Moving rearward is toe heel. Moving forward will be heel toe, heel toe. So I start stepping and I'm talking to you and I'm firing. If As long as I can stabilize the gun and keep it on target, that's my mission. Obviously, those are great shots, but I'm not moving really fast. I can probably move a lot faster and still shoot minute of man. So if you get out on the range, take some time to practice shooting on the move, take that opportunity. I think you'll find it's not that hard.
The HK MP5 is probably one of the most copied carbines in the world. But if you want an HK, you gotta get an HK. Now they have the SP5, the sporting version of the MP5. Short, fun, cool, historic, 9mm, fun to shoot. What's not to like? Check out the HK SP5.
First Person Defender brought to you by HK and T4E. Once again, Bill is trying to wet his whistle at a bar for locals. The room turns on him again, and he's asked to leave. Will he implement his training once he's out of the frying pan and into the fire?
Oh, what a day.
Sir,
A day.
did you say your name is Bill?
Yeah, that guy right.
Hey, Bill, you've been causing a few problems here today.
Causing a problem.
Unfortunately, I got to ask you to leave.
Me? Yeah,
Yes, sir.
The whole time he's been causing a problem.
I'm just going to go ahead and ask you to leave, all right? No more issues. Just let's go ahead and take off.
He's giving.
Get out, man.
problem.
You're not welcome here.
Yeah.
Back up, back
Get out
up.
of here.
Hey, man, just leave.
Back up.
Just leave. Just
Back
leave.
up, back up.
Hey man, what's going on?
We don't.
Back up.
We don't take.
Back up. Do not approach me.
What's happening there?
Just leave it. I'm gonna get in my car and leave. Don't anybody move.
What happened?
He sprayed me with something.
What?
Burns.
Dude, come on. Come on inside, man.
You probably shouldn't go anywhere.
Do not approach me. Back up.
What's
Shouldn't
going
go
on?
anywhere. What happened in there? Why you spray
Call
peepaw?
the police. Call the police. There was trouble inside.
Why'd you spray peepaw? What'd he do?
Call the
hit me
police.
with
There's
something
trouble
burned.
inside. 911.
Index, index, index.
All right, man. I wasn't in there. What happened?
Well, just immediately right when we started, the bartender kicked me out of the bar. I was like, really, me? And I'm not gonna argue with him, so I'm just gonna leave. But then these guys immediately kind of hopped on me and started following me out. And I'm like, oh, here we go again, right? You know, I kept telling them to back up and telling them to back up. And I think a normal person, when you tell them to back up, will back up. And they're not coming in for a hug at that point.
Normal people.
Yeah, so at that point I had my pepper spray in my hand, and when it got too close for me to be comfortable with it, I hit the first person with the pepper spray.
You spray anybody inside?
Nope.
So you only sprayed.
Outside.
All right, well, let's get the bartender, Adam, over here. All right, Adam, I wasn't in there, but I was outside. Tell us what you saw.
So he was very careful exiting the bar because two guys had keyed in on it. Once he got out, he tried to go a different route, but suddenly there was another person there. And he hopped a railing and took off between two cars, doing what we talked about before, looking for time, distance, barriers, and an exit, which is what he did. That pepper spray flashed out as fast as if he had pulled it from the holster, and he hosed the guy down. And then as others began aggressing towards him, he ran off, giving great verbal commands. Then you put yourself behind cover. So at that point, you gave great verbal commands, and then I noticed you asked for someone to call 911, which to me tells me you'd thought through. You were trying to get other help on the way, so you didn't have to use the firearm. To me, that was a great conclusion to the entire scenario.
We thought you did a great job on both scenarios. We're super glad that you finally got to participate in one of these scenarios because you've seen a bunch.
It's a chest thumper. It really is.
You know, for sure. And the first one was definitely not a cakewalk.
Well, Bill, as an H&K guy, I want to tell you I admire what you did. Well done, sir.
So Bill, he shines. We knew he was going to shine. That's why we tried to make it super hard for him, and he still did well.
You know, to that point, to be a gun carrier, you must be not only a responsible person who gets the training, but also be a thinker, right? You can't just solve everything higgly-piggly. You've got to actually think these things through.
I thought he did a great job. He should be proud of himself. I know you're proud of him, and we were glad to have him in an episode of First Person Defender.
To see all of Gun Talk's content, go to guntalk.com, guntalktv.com, or sign up for the Gun Talk newsletter.